I'm going to give you tips to overcome the biggest barriers when it comes to staying sensible with your eating and your movement over the weekend. Number one, eat foods that you enjoy all the time. Like you get to Friday, like you've been eating healthy, you've been eating in a way that supports your weight loss, and then you get home from work, it's just kind of like, whew, I made it. Okay, I made it. What now? Like, you just need a break, right? Because you've been using all this willpower to eat stuff that you didn't necessarily like. And especially if you do like I used to do, and like you don't even prepare it the way you like, you don't even use the spices that you like, because you're literally trying to do the best, eat the best way, eat perfectly, because you really want the weight to come off. What happens when you do that is you get to the end of the week and you feel exhausted as far as how you've been eating, and you feel like you need a break. And instead of just adding a little bit of cheese to your salad earlier that week, or instead of putting some ketchup on something that you ate earlier that week because you're trying to be perfect, you end up like ordering pizza Friday night and then having pancakes Saturday morning, and then it just goes on and on and on until Sunday night you feel miserable and you literally can't wait to get back on track on Monday because you just completely overdid it. So the first way that you avoid doing all that is you eat foods that you actually like during the week. Now, of course, guys, if you're going to lose weight at the same time, you have to do that in a way. So if you're going to not fall off every weekend and just totally lose it, you have to include things that you like during the week. And you want to make sure that you're still eating in a way that supports your weight loss, but you want to customize that advice, you want to customize that approach to include foods that you really like. So a quick example of that is, you guys know I am a huge advocate for eating enough protein. I can't say enough about what eating enough protein does for keeping you full, for controlling your hunger, for having you be able to not eat all the crunchy snack carbs all day long. Well, one of the things that I used to do is I used to eat mostly chicken breast because I thought that was the best way to eat, you guys. And I also was like losing and gaining that same 20 to 30 pounds over and over. But when I finally got to the point, especially after my son was born, where I needed to lose the weight and keep it off, and I needed to do it in a way that was sane, right? I was no longer going to go to these extremes. I started eating dark meat. It's still protein. It still helps me to be fuller longer. Does it have a little bit more fat? Yes. But I like dark meat. It's satisfying to me, and eating dark meat during the week and getting a little bit more fat than if I ate chicken breast means that on Friday night, I'm not looking for Chick-fil-A. On Friday night, I'm not looking for pizza. And in the long run, that was much more effective. So you want to eat stuff that you like all the time. All right, so point number 2, you guys, carry figure-friendly snacks with you. Now, you may be thinking, okay, she just said that she used to eat out of Tupperware and we don't have to do that, and now she's telling us to carry snacks. How does that all gel together? Let me explain what I mean. One of the traps with weekend eating is we get off of routine, right? You may not realize why it's easier to eat in a way that's healthy Monday through Friday, but it's just because of routine. Whether it's a job, whether it's your kids and your kids' schedule, whether it's your business and you just have a daily schedule, a cadence that you follow, that routine and that schedule helps keep your eating on track. And what happens on the weekend is that schedule is lifted for most of us. And for some of us, if you're moms and then you've got like the kids' activities and things like that, the schedule just either is lifted or it's turned upside down. Either way it goes, it's not what you're used to. So because it's not what you're used to, you're running around, you're off schedule, and it's kind of like, okay, where does a meal fit in? One of the things that used to happen to me all the time, and my clients tell me this all the time too, is that they forgot to eat or they didn't have time to eat because they were going from this place to that place, and by the time they finally got around to eating or were able to get to some food, all discretion was gone, right? If you wait until you are absolutely hungry, like really hungry. I don't like to say starving because we don't a lot of times really starve in America, right? But when you wait to the point where you're really super hungry to eat, it's really hard to have discretion. So if you carry figure-friendly snacks with you so that you don't allow yourself to get like just ravenous, then what happens is, even if you are off schedule, even if you're not eating when you normally would, you're not completely ravenous when it's time to sit down for a meal. And you have greater success or greater chances to eat what you intended to eat when it's time to sit down and eat. So carrying figure-friendly snacks with you. If you find that you are struggling with weekend eating, and if the struggle is because of just not eating and then being so hungry when it's time to eat that you don't use discretion, if you start to carry some figure-friendly snacks with you, that could help. Point number 3, you guys, is establish your go-to on-the-go eating places, your eating places in your meal. So if you have busy weekends, if your struggle with the weekends is that you're not in the house, you're not with your normal routine, you're normally out and about, maybe you eat out more during the weekend than you normally do during the week, that's fine. And here's the thing, even if you understand, but if you guys find that you are eating out more and you're not necessarily making great choices when you eat out, even if like you've read my blogs and you understand what figure-friendly eating is and how it's supposed to go, then the problem may just be decision fatigue. You're leaving yourself open to make too many decisions in the moment, and in the moment decision making can be exhausting, and most times we don't make a lot of good decisions when we make the decisions in the moment. So when you establish your go-to on-the-go eating meals, or when you establish your go-to on-the-go meals, it's easy because you already know, right? You already know the places that you frequent on the weekend. You already know where you're most likely to end up for a meal. So all you need to do is in advance figure out what are the most figure-friendly choices in those places, and that's what you have. So for instance, I know when I land at Chipotle, which is one of my go-to places, I'm going to have the salad, I'm going to have the shredded lettuce, I'm going to have a little bit of the rice, I'm going to have chicken, I'm going to have pico, I'm going to have salsa, and I'm going to have the dressing on the side. Like, I know that. I know that that's going to happen. I know what I'm going to eat at certain places. I know if we end up going out for Chinese food, I'm going to order chicken and vegetables, some type of kung pao, light on the sauce, rice on the side, or I'm going to skip the rice and do double veggies. As when you establish your go-to on-the-go meals, it makes it a lot easier to eat well on the weekend and to not blow your progress every single weekend. So you guys, that was all I have.